at Texture Hair. The Tri-City Center is filled with retailers who care about you. Shop at the Tri-City Center in Redlands and see why they call it the mall with a heart. Psst. Hey, you. Yeah, you. Do you know where you are? Well, you've done it now. You're listening to KCAA Loma Linda, your CNBC news station. So expect the unexpected.
The doctor is in. Welcome to the Psychic Love Doctor Show with host Deborah Lee. Deborah has been practicing, teaching, and perfecting the personal prophecy card reading method for 20 plus years. This life-affirming, highly perceptive reading method has taught Deborah how to zero in on specific problems with relationships, career pursuits, and current roadblocks to success and happiness. This inspiring show will help you never feel helpless in life or love ever again. Now, here's your host, Deborah Lee.
Hello, and welcome to a very special Psychic Love Doctor show. We have our beautiful host, Deborah Lee.
Thank you. Yes. Very happy to be here with my fabulous co-host, Lauren. If you are watching us on Facebook Live on the Psychic Love Doctor show page, Lauren is the one with the black hair. I'm the one with the red. Okay. We also have a live audience with us this evening, which will prove to be interesting, I'm sure, because have we got a topic for you. First of all, new folks, if you're just joining us first time, I learned this method from my grandmother well over 35 years ago now. She called this method, which I'm showing those on Facebook and also those who will be seeing the podcast, she used an ordinary deck of poker cards. This method she called personal prophecy, and it is so incredibly dynamic. I could not believe it when she taught me how it was as if it gave me a new set of eyes to look at the world. We're able to It's as if we can unzip somebody's head and peer in and find out what makes them tick, what they're thinking, how they feel. And the best part is, as we are right now sitting in the present, we can view the path that we are taking to the future and improve it before we even get there. That, I think, is incredibly empowering, dynamic, and some other word, like, it's really cool.
Satisfying. It's even more satisfying than traditional Facebook stalking.
I think so.
It is.
Oh, yeah, you get some way more information, especially if, say, some guy has put up a bunch of pictures to lead, say, a girlfriend who dumped him into thinking, oh, look at him, isn't he busy? He's out every night. But the cards, we can lay them down, the cards will say, but he's actually very lonely and wants you to come back. But he is being a stupid fool by putting all these pictures up instead of coming to tell you.
Yes.
So, and vice versa. And we do have a topic tonight. I do see we already have somebody in the wings.
We do. We have a caller. Do you want to introduce the topic real quick? And then
yeah, we can get your mind's marinating. And you go right ahead.
So we have been talking, and sometimes we feel like we're a little biased. We're usually very, we're women friendly here. So we usually side on the side for women. But today we want to talk about things that we do as women that are kind of crazy that can result in us losing boyfriends or love interests. And one of the first things talking about Facebook and social media is when you are posting, when it's a brand new boyfriend and you see people and they're posting pictures of somebody on like the second date or the first date, it tends to look
It's like a documentary.
Yes. And
the guy's going to get a little bit creeped out over that.
Yes.
Too soon, yeah. Yeah, too soon, ladies. And I don't think guys are guilty of that, do you?
They can be.
Maybe the dirty pictures.
Well, no, I mean, I dated this one guy, and he wanted to take pictures, and he would post me on, like, Instagram, and he'd be like, up with my babe, and I have to say it was very weird. It was flattering because he was like, this will be good for my followers, but like it was.
Oh man, but
yes.
you sure can find them, can't you?
Right.
But,
hopefully you're off the market now.
Oh.
Yeah.
But anyway, and then another one too is posting your too quickly like in a relationship, and it kind of makes you look.
And changing your status.
Yes, changing
Right.
your relationship status.
To what? What does it go from single to what? Taken or?
In a relationship,
Complicated anything.
I think a man wants to pursue, and we got some men here, so you guys could, throw us a bone here and there,
So to speak.
so to speak. And tell us, don't you want to be the hunter? Don't you want to be the one to pursue that female? Or do you want her just jumping all over you? And, I just can't imagine.
I feel like we always ask these questions, do you want them jumping all over you? And I feel like the men in the audience are like, that wouldn't
be
bad.
too bad.
It wouldn't be a bad thing.
So with that, we'll talk more about that in a minute, but let's go ahead and jump to Anne from Texas. And before we get to Anne, our phone number is 909-792-5222, so you can call in for your free reading on the air. Anne, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Anne?
Hello.
Okay.
There she is. Hi, Anne.
Okay. Hi. How are y'all doing tonight?
Oh, we're just getting started. Let's put it that way. How are
We're
you?
good. I'm doing good, thank you.
Oh, good. What can we do for you?
Well, guy I'm seeing, Mike, it's been really good. I've been going over every evening and staying over. We have breakfast together, and all of a sudden, Wednesday, he kind of got cold, and I went to a reception at church, and it was a dress-up deal, and he was kind of defensive about, well, you go have a good time, and he just feels like he's getting jealous, but just been giving me the cold shoulder, so I want to see what's going on.
Okay, guys, while I'm laying out the cards, what are your thoughts?
I didn't get.
So things have been going really,
Right,
really
and then
well.
they got not good.
Yeah, and
What was the jealousy
but
thing?
it
I
was
didn't catch that.
suddenly. So Anne, is there a reason why you suspect that he might be jealous?
Well, I volunteer at my church, and I had an old ring that I started put on my left hand, and he's like, "Why are you wearing that?" And I said, "Well, there's some people that ask me if I'm available, and I'm just not interested in that clientele." So every now and then when I go places, he'll tell me, "Don't forget to wear that wedding ring." And Sunday I was at another church promoting a child care enrollment. So he tells me, "Don't forget to wear that wedding ring. I don't want all these guys hitting on you and whatnot." But then this week when I went to the church event, he was just I could hear in his voice, "Will you go have a good time? Maybe you're going to meet somebody." And he just kind of changed this week. So.
Wow, what do you guys think?
There's two things. He's kind of pouting a little bit about something, or he has his airplane has landed on a different landing strip possibly now, so he's trying to move.
It does sound a little bit controlling too, in a way. Do you like when he asks you to do all that?
Well, he
Are
just.
you guys married?
No, we're not. But we've been dating off and on for 5 years now.
But he has you wearing a wedding ring?
No, I have. It's just a ring that's it's a blue stone, but he calls it a wedding ring. He just says that. Why are you ring on that finger? Because I have a ring on each my ring fingers on each hand.
Oh, okay.
Well, I have some news for you with the cards here. So, this is where the application of personal prophecy can really be instrumental in helping us to figure out what's really going on. What has happened is somebody mentioned insecure. I think that was a lady in our audience who's sitting quite close to me. She said he's insecure. The idea that he would have to put a symbol on her finger that she's taken, quote unquote, says a lot. So what I really feel here is he is starting to worry he's going to get hurt. Yeah. That's what's right here. And it is saying that the two of you are going to be discussing this very soon. So I think that you should remain open to a discussion, but you shouldn't have to, plead, beg, bargain, with him because you're right. I think it is controlling.
Yeah.
Now, you've dated some insecure men in the past, Lauren, and I bet you have too, the lady who's sitting on my left. And I just wonder, don't these guys realize that if you smother us, we're going to kind of, we're going to go.
The worst one that I dated, I had like a friend that I was going to like a birthday for, and it just makes you feel like somebody's not trusting you, like you're not trustworthy, and that's really an insult. So,
and you know something else, I've seen this done or explained in studies. Those that think that you aren't faithful are usually ones who have had a history of it, where it's an unresolved issue for them because they at one time or another did cheat.
Or they had past people that have done it on one occasion, so they assume everybody is.
So I am seeing that he's going to discuss this, Anne. I do feel that the two of you could come to a really good understanding, but don't, bend over, or don't fold up. I'm trying to think of a good way to put this. Hold your ground. It's not like you were out running to strip bars where men are taking their clothes off, or meeting somebody, on a dark alley. So I think she should be like, hey, if you love me, you trust me.
Right. And we're not actually married.
There you go.
Ding
dong.
The wedding ring thing is...
The wedding ring thing.
I'm having a problem with that.
Probably you would want to change the name of that.
Right.
Do you see yourself marrying him?
Oh, yes, I would. I do.
Well, this could be a good door opener for the future.
I would say
if he wants to call it a wedding ring, he needs to get the ball
man
rolling.
Up. That's right.
Don't be playing the game.
Yeah, I would say if you want me to wear a wedding ring so badly, why don't you give me one? Yeah.
Right. Make it official.
Okay.
So we would like you to report back. Let us know how this goes, because I do feel the two of you will be sitting down to have a good talk very soon. So I'm hoping for good results. Yes?
Oh, me too. Yes. Yes, I'm wanting that.
Well, Anne, I love that you call so often, because this is one of the beautiful aspects to this method. The more readings you get, the more clarity you're able to bring as you're navigating your path. And it's the other reason why I keep my readings so reasonably priced. First of all, I don't want to just appeal to people with a fat bank account. Second, it would be nice, but that's not where my head is, if you know what I mean. Second of all, I want more people to keep coming back, which my regular clients do quite frequently. So thank goodness that you got in touch with us. So now you know a little bit, something about what's going on with him.
Right, a little bit. Now I know,
and I would say the fact that he's insecure and feeling jealous and somewhat possessive is a sign to me that he really cares for her.
I do too, but be careful to set up boundaries. You don't, if it does end up being in a marriage, you don't want somebody who's not letting you live your life either.
You're right. So Anne, stay in touch. We will see what we have to find out about this guy next time. All right.
All right. Yes, thank you very much. Y'all have a good evening. All right.
Bye-bye.
All right. Next up, we have Tina from New Jersey. How are you doing, Tina?
Tina, hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine. Happy Friday. Have your psychic party going on?
It is going. We're raging over here.
Happy Friday.
Yes, indeed. So, are you going to be getting a bunch of snow with that new big snowstorm that's heading east?
I'm not sure. I'm ready. I have a truck, so I'm prepared either way.
And besides, she's a northerner. Some of us here during the broadcast, we got Connecticut, we got Minnesota, and we got the state of Washington here. Mm-hmm. I think we are all pretty good winter,
except for me. I'm a southerner.
What are you?
I'm from Virginia.
And she's
apparently
she's a Virginian, yeah. She's one of those people that goes sideways through the intersection.
Fair enough. You're not wrong.
All right, Tina, what can we do for you this fine evening?
Yes, I just like to ask about my boyfriend, Kendrick.
Oh, Kendrick. Okay, how are things going?
Great.
Great?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yay!
Okay, and what would you like me to look at for you?
Just whatever Spirit has for us.
Just What'd you get?
Just like an update, just a general update on how he's feeling, what the future holds.
Exactly, all the above.
How long you been with Kendrick?
I've known him for years, but we just reconnected.
Oh, those are the best kind.
Yeah.
So with our topic, we were talking about how to not lose a guy, like that movie, Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Are there some things that you have done that you think, or you've seen other people do that are mistakes, Tina?
Yes, more so, yes. I just want to dot my I's and cross my T's. It's really going really good.
Awesome. Well, we're happy that your relationship's going really well. Do you have any secrets to making it go so well? What do you think makes your relationship such a good one at this time?
You know what? We're just best friends. It's like we just tell each other like everything. I understand how he is. So it's like a really easy friendship.
Yep, that's the ultimate foundation for a really good marriage. You know, you got to be friends. Because there comes a point you are going to get out of the bed. You know, you're going to have that tickle scratched, and you need to have something in common. Because otherwise, you know, a lot of people, these young folks today, that's another thing for your list there, Lauren.
All right.
About having sex too soon. I mean, it may seem old school, but I think, you know, maybe the third date. Isn't there a third date rule?
I've heard that.
That by then you should be, you know.
Everybody has different numbers for that rule.
Right.
Yeah, well, I think
Depends on your gender.
think you need to like that person first before you take that step. For you, have you and Kendrick discussed having children?
No.
Well, I'm seeing a little girl coming along here. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh no.
So,
Is she all right?
are you okay?
Are you okay over there, Tina?
Yeah,
Are you still with us, Tina?
We had to call 911.
Yeah. Well,
I did. I was like,
yeah, knocked your socks off. Yeah. Well, yeah, remember, you can have all the best intentions, use the most, like, high-tech preventative measures, but what is meant to be will be. Mm-hmm. Indeed. So, there is a little girl here. Oh, she's cute as a button, too. And she's going to be the apple of her daddy's eye, if that's still a, you know.
That's a thing. That's a thing
A
with
lot of
daddy's
people don't know
girl.
what that means anymore, but yeah.
Wrapped
Yeah,
around the
I mean,
finger
yeah.
kind of
I don't know what it means, but I know what it means, but I don't know what it means.
So, I'm
What
not
did you just
saying...
I understand that means that, like, it's, you know, the
I knew what
pride
you
and
meant, that you
joy.
don't know what it means, but you know
But
what
what
it means.
does the apple, this is an off topic, but
It
what
is
does
kinda
the
off
apple
topic.
of
Someone
the
in
father's
the audience
eye?
look it up and you
Does
can tell.
I don't feel
anybody,
like Googling, somebody
I
else
thought
can do
you knew, you've got all these
I got
anecdotes
this
from,
old school stuff, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, well,
what was
I mean,
the other one I learned about the other day? It was the woo,
Pitch and woo.
pitch and woo. I didn't know, so that's why we need Deb to
Well, I
teach.
want you to know, Tina, he is really looking toward the future with you. But he wishes he had more money. Don't you find this to be the case?
he said that the other day. I said I wanted to go to church in Caicos, and he was like, that costs a lot of money. So you're right, he did say that.
Well, he wants to have a lot more to be able to, you know, provide. Men still have that provider nature where we women are the nesters, you know, the homemakers. Even though we're all turning into business women, we still have that instinct. But you know what? And just remember, all the cards are capable of is sharing with you the potential. However, when it's come to babies on the way, I've got a really good track record. So,
She did mine.
yeah, that's right. I did yours.
Knew it was going to be.
I've had women come to me that have been told they cannot conceive, and I've said, well, I'm sorry, you've got a little baby spirit floating around you, and sure enough, they gave birth. So for you, I know that really kind of blew you away, but that is in your cards. It seems to definitely be something with great potential for you, Tina. But you know what? It's only going to solidify what they have. Mm-hmm. You two were brought back together for a really good reason. And that reason is a soulmate connection. You're meant to go through life together.
Oh, that's so nice. I mean, does he want another child? Because we reconnected, and I told him I'm not being intimate until I get married. So he's honoring that. So,
oh, boy, have you got a keeper there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no tantrums, no ultimatums. He's just being a good guy.
I think that's a good thing there, too.
I do, too.
Aww.
You know, the more things change, the more some things stay the same. I think that is wonderful.
Yeah,
but
so you
now,
you see he wants another child?
It doesn't seem to be so much of the wanting or planning. It just seems to be like a gift from heaven. A gift coming to you where it will just, it's going to make him so happy. And for that little girl to be half of you. I mean, this guy really cares. Really. Now, if you guys happen to...
Yeah, because I told him to come in the other day. He said no.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, now if you both end up slipping a little bit, this could be a gesture from God.
Yeah.
You know, marriage is man's invention. God is the one that deals in conceptions.
Right.
Okay. And if the two of you go, oops, what did we do? And then you find out, well, that was meant to be.
Oh, okay. That is so funny.
I'm excited. I can't wait till she calls us and says, guess what? Then we're going to celebrate.
Thank you.
So, Tina, you take care of that good man you've got. I think he's going to do wonderful things for you, too.
But do you see the marriage before the baby?
Well, no. I think I see the baby first. But remember, you have control over that.
Right. You have power over this particular situation. There's some scientific...
knowing this, knowing this, you can be...
extra precaution.
Be vigilant. Keep him at arm's distance at all times.
Don't let him point that thing at you.
Right.
Leave room for the Holy Spirit.
Close
That's right.
Pretend like you're at a Catholic school dance.
My grandmother, who taught me this method, used to say, keep your knees crossed and your mind on Jesus. And you won't get it. I love her laugh.
That is the most interesting...
Yes. Keep your mind on the Lord.
That's Catholic brand of contraception right there.
Yep. Well, Tina, thank you, and I hope we hear from you again real soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're so welcome. Bye-bye now,
Bye, Tina.
Mama to be.
Look at that.
All right, and next up, we have Barbara from Washington. How are you doing, Barbara? Oh,
Good.
but first we're going to pause for our station ID.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, K292 FQ Riverside, and K293 CF Moreno Valley.
And we are back with the Psychic Love Doctor Show. We're discussing just about anything tonight, so if you have a question, you need to give us a call at 909-792-5222 to get your own personal on-the-air reading.
Yes.
So we are going to Barbara from Washington. Hello there.
Hi, Deborah.
Hello.
So, this weekend is the big bridal show.
Okay, I saw your post with some of your gowns. They're breathtaking. That wedding gown, I wish I was 22 and could wear. I mean, this is like a sweetheart wedding dress, and she designs them.
Ooh, I bet that is beautiful.
It is. So, what can we do?
Well,
for
you had said a few weeks back that I might be meeting somebody at this show because it's not just brides that come. Dads come too, and at my age, it better be a dad. So I'm wondering if you pick up on anything.
Okay. Now, is this going to be held where you are, or do you have to travel?
It's at the Washington State Convention Center in Seattle.
Okay. All right.
I love Seattle. I want to go. I'm coming, Barbara.
Okay.
It rains.
Connect
It's
on
beautiful.
Facebook. Deborah knows where I'm at.
Do you live in Seattle or do you live closer to like Bellevue or one of those areas?
I am just north of Seattle in Edmond.
Okay. Well, I love it. Have you been to the, oh my gosh, what's the name of the bookstore? There's a huge bookstore and it's all like cedar on the inside. The Bay Company. The Elliott Bay Company?
Oh, the Elliott Bay Book Company. I have not been there. I have heard of it, but I've not been there.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's so beautiful in there, and the cafe, and then Deborah, they make the little cups of coffee that have the little clouds and the pictures in it. So it's beautiful. I want to go back. It's wonderful. All right.
Yes, actually, I do see that you are going to, first of all, connect with all sorts of people, and men seem to be predominant. There will be a number of, like, say, company owners or investors, all sorts of different, you know, whenever I go to these expos that I appear at, there's all kinds of different walks of life that come through the door. Mm-hmm. But I want to warn you, there's one here, okay, here we go, who is really going to want to pitch some woo at you, if you catch my drift. And I would advise you to just give him a brush off. He's a player. He's just looking for, you know, that romantic interlude that only lasts as long as the convention.
Is he trying to shoplift the pootie, Deborah?
Yes, he is shoplifting that pootie. So you don't want to get involved with that. Your gut is going to tell you. I can just feel she's going to just see him as a huge red flag. But this guy is smooth. He's got a lot of charm. And he dresses well, and he's, you know, he just lays it on really thick. What's a beautiful woman like you doing in a place like this?
Just try to find the guy that's wearing like Crocs and socks, and then you've got a real winner right there.
Well, actually, there is another one that's going to contact her, but Barbara, this one's going to be for business. This one is a man with like a magical know-how in terms of the field. And, you know, I feel like there's some kind of media involved here. Could be a show. What else could it be?
Radio.
Yeah, he's got something to talk to you about, like a
maybe an Instagram presence, like a social media following.
Wanting to be involved in your work. And he's on the up and up. This is like your big moment as far as really gaining notoriety for your gowns and the work that you do, because it really is special. It is. So I feel, are you taking that gorgeous wedding gown? Is it going with you to the show?
Ones that you saw in the picture, yes, they're there.
Oh, there's magic in that dress. There's something about it, Lauren. I'll show it to you a little bit later.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. I can't find anything.
Okay, well, there's something about that gown. Now, in all, it's going to be a very nice experience for you. I really feel your best prospect from that would be the gentleman with the business proposition. The other one, he's a slippery fellow shoplifting the pootie.
He's a good time Sally or Sam, I guess.
All right, well, there you go, and it's going to be wonderful. I feel that it's going to give a real shot in the arm to your business in terms of advertising, and I think bringing you really awesome clients, like the one that you had mentioned on Facebook. And you had a gal come in, and the first dress she tried on, she bought it, right?
Wow, that's amazing.
Boy, that's somebody who knew what she wanted or saw it and said, I want.
First sight, I said.
Yeah. So, okay, Barbara, be in touch with us. We love hearing from you.
Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome, and good luck. Have a nice time.
You know, that slippery Sam fellow, I wanted to say something about here. Those guys, they make me laugh, those type of guys.
Slippery Sam?
Yeah, I've had them come in when I was a bartender for many weeks. I've had a couple guys come in that like that. They come and wear the fancy shirts and the jewelry, and they throw their car keys out like they just want you to see what type of car they drive. I just laugh, raise my eyebrow and laugh. I'm like, you're a funny dude, you guys are. Funny dudes. Think you can snap your fingers at me and get me to do something. Ain't happening, bro.
Are they successful? Do
With
those
women?
slippery Sams get good time Sallies?
Well, good time salads, yeah. Good time salads are easy.
I want to know why. Say good time Sally. They say you don't want to be a good time Sally. Good time Sally sounds like a fun person. Why can't we be good time Sallies, Deborah?
Well, I'll tell you, it's been my experience over the years that even the most promiscuous women are really looking for love. They're just doing it from a skewed perspective. Sometimes there's a hitch to it, I think you could say, where they kind of want to hurt themselves. Kind of a part of like how Freud had often said that we can be our own worst enemies and we enjoy hurting ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But by and large, they are looking for that Prince Charming who they think is out in that club.
Maybe they're just taking the kissing the frogs to the next level. Maybe that's what's happening.
If that's what you call kissing frogs, then...
I'm not calling it that,
I'm just saying.
Kyle. Jeez Louise. I think this would be a great opportunity, however, for us to talk about the Chef on Call.
Excellent. Yes, we have a new mini feature that we're going to be bringing into the show, and he's going to talk to us for a couple minutes now.
All right.
Our Chef on Call is a real bona fide chef who is next week, isn't it? You're going to teach us a few little mini hors d'oeuvre ideas for Super Bowl Sunday.
Super Bowl's coming up right around the corner. I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And I can't tell how many times I'm tired of Rotel with chilies. Just being put in the microwave and what's it called, the Velveeta? Yeah, thank you. I can't remember what the stuff's called.
Is that really?
It's nothing. It's a cheese food product. More plastic than it is food.
It's delicious, but...
Are you going to teach us a really fast dip?
Yeah, I'll teach you a really fast dip, throw together some chips that are really going to be delicious, and how to actually make people think that you spend a lot of time in the kitchen without actually being in there.
And I've got to say, you've done quite a bit of cooking for me, and this guy has flair. Oh my God. Even just the way that you will pour a glass of wine, or the way he presents. He's made me breakfast occasionally. It comes out like I'm eating out at the Waldorf. I almost said hysteria.
Well, one of my philosophies is that when you're cooking or doing something, do something for somebody the right way. Then you won't have to go back and do it again. It was my grandmother who taught me that.
The interesting thing is Chef on Call is a new service that he is launching. Now, you kind of have to be in the Virginia Beach area unless you have a lot of money and want to fly him out.
Right,
which
he'll do.
He will shop, he will prepare, he will serve, and he does it with panache. Let me tell you that you could have a dinner for 2 or a dinner for 20.
Yep.
Or more. You have catering experience.
I do have catering experience, yes.
And you'll be able to arrange that as simple as using an app.
Using an app, right, exactly.
So thank you, Kyle, Chef on Call. We'll look forward to next week.
Join us next week when we're doing some fast food football.
Woo!
There you go. That was hard to say, a lot of F's.
Fast food football fun.
They're fun.
Headed fun.
There you go.
It leaves more time for beer drinking.
Definitely. There you go.
There you go. So, folks, the phone number here, 909-792-5222. And tonight, while we wait for your calls, we are discussing
ways that we are ladies. We're normally hard on the men, but we are losing men left and right. And Deborah, who is not only a card whisperer, but she's also somewhat of a, she's an expert on the love, and she can see the mistakes that we are making. And I did pull up, let's see. So we have different mistakes that people are making, and one of the mistakes that, Deb, you were talking about is planning too far in ahead, right? We were talking about, you started dating somebody and you're like, what do you want me to get you for your birthday? And it's September, you started dating him, and his birthday's not till March, and he's like, I don't even know if I want to celebrate my birthday with you.
And the guys in our audience right now are giving really strange looks like, oh my God, that sounds like a psycho that I'm going to want to get away from.
So unless they want to be all over you, then you wait till after that.
No, I don't know if they'd even want to dip into that
You're
well.
going too far in advance for me there. My birthday's not until, we'll say October, and you're talking about it in April. We just started dating? Nah.
Yesterday, yeah.
That's not a thing.
Yeah.
That's a red alert.
Yeah, it is. Goodbye.
I forgot my coat in the car and zip out.
Okay, now what about when people try, and I've seen girls do this, or actually I've seen everybody do this. Actually, I think where you make a plan, like you're like, it's like, oh, hey, what are we going to do for Labor Day? And it's the same thing. It's like it's 3 months away. But what do you think? Do you think that can be, I'm kind of iffy on that one. Like, depending on it, like I'd say if it's June and you're saying what do you want to do on July 4th, I mean, that could let somebody know that, you know, you see spending time with them on the 4th. Is that always a mistake then?
No, I don't think so. If the two of you share a certain interest. I'm having trouble thinking of one right off the top, but
like
maybe
a concert maybe?
Yes,
or
and it's in the future, you could say, well, hey, you know, if we're still seeing each other, I would love to go.
I think there also goes, I'm sorry to interrupt, excuse me please, hand-in-hand entrance time, how long you've been in a relationship. If you're just starting off to say, hey, like, I'm planning this far in the future, but July 4th coming up, I want to do some coordinating outfits. That's going to be a little bit of a...
It's too much.
It's too much.
Too soon,
but
too much.
Right, if you've been dating since April and it's coming on June and July 4th's coming around the corner, you know, for the past holiday, whatever's in between, you did something, then yeah, bring it up.
Do guys want to do all the planning
No.
for dates?
No.
Do you want to have help with that?
Yes,
Make a
they need
decision.
help.
Especially because women are a lot of times fussy on places to go, but they don't tell you.
Oh, yeah.
Anywhere's fine.
Right, cool, we'll go over here.
Well,
Over here.
Oh, no, I don't really...
We go suck the heads off of crawdads. How about that?
It's a fun time.
I like crawdads, but when we say everything's fine, now not all men, but it's sometimes you're like everything's fine, and they're like really take that literally and like go to like the worst place ever that you know you really don't like.
You're being judged in those first few dates, guys. She's telling her girlfriends all about you, every detail. There's an old saying that women will discuss in minute detail everything they do with their husbands and boyfriends and dates, where men are exactly, and women will not discuss any one-night stands, any details. Men are exactly opposite. They'll tell their buddies everything about Good Time Sally. Or
Good Time Sally's and the Slippery Sams. Pretty much don't date anyone whose name starts with an S. But
Oh, you're poor little
but
a lot of people are upset right now.
Yeah.
No, but okay. And now the other thing is, now your experience. So many people are looking for love when they talk to you, and I kind of have joined you on all these calls. And I would say the number one thing for killing relationships, or even potential for it, I think you can disagree with me, is people always want things to happen so quickly.
You're so right.
Yeah.
There's a desperation attached to somebody who is maybe newly single or been single too long. Now, this is an analogy. I don't know if everybody can relate to this. Have you ever seen, like on a blade of hay or a piece of grass, a wood tick? Mm-hmm. The way they have their front, what do you call it? Their front legs, and that one side is waving out there so it can just latch onto somebody. Mm-hmm. And you could smell that on somebody. Mm-hmm. And everybody's got to face at one time or another being alone, mm-hmm. being by yourself.
The best friend you could ever have is yourself.
If your identity is only involved with having somebody, then you have no identity.
Right. You weren't born married.
Yeah.
No.
I would also say, too, and this also relates not just to love, but also to careers and things. And this is the same in a job interview. And every time I've had a job interview, every time I've had an audition, you need to come prepared, because they also say instead of a job interview, you have to interview the job. Is that job good enough for you? And to an employer, and I've been an employer, you want to know that this person's taking things seriously. And it's very impressive when somebody's asking you questions. And I think that you have to keep in mind, not only, do you want to have a relationship, but do you really want a relationship with this person? You don't want to be.
There's also ways that you can very cleverly avoid, say, feeling humiliated or looking pitiful. Like, for instance, let's say you have to go to a wedding. It's a big wedding, and you know your ex is going to be there, and you're still hurting over him, but you don't want to go there like this pitiful waif, You can practically see the rain swirling around her as she's clutching her shawl. No, you want to call and get yourself an escort. If you don't have a good buddy that he doesn't know, hire an escort. And you don't stay too long. You go in, you sit through the wedding, then you go a little bit to the reception, and you leave before you have stayed too long.
Right.
And he will be eating his heart out.
This is also a fantastic plot to one of my favorite movies, The Wedding Date. Have you seen that?
No, I don't think so.
Oh my gosh, it's fantastic. Well, watch The Wedding Date. And what Deb said is
Deborah
great.
Messing?
Yes.
Then I did see it. Yes. Yeah, and she hired that guy.
It worked out well for her. So you know what? The lesson of the day is go ahead and hire yourself an escort.
Or if it's guy hiring a female, don't get the cheesy, slutty ones.
Yeah, get the $1,500 one.
Get the Good Time Sally's that
classy
look like
girl.
classy Claire's.
A guy coming into my restaurant once, he wanted to show off. So he brings in this, we all knew it, a hooker. You could tell, the dress was cut too short on both ends. And that was hilarious. Just buying $500 bottles of wine and everything. And we're just like, still spending a lot more money than what you should be, pal.
Well, right, but appearances are everything.
Yeah.
So if you need to go, if everybody's going to be talking about you anyway, you need to go in looking really classy, spend that time being classy.
Yeah, highlight that part right there.
And then get the hell out, right.
Classy is the first
And
part.
you watch, I wouldn't be surprised that phone will ring later on, like midnight, 1 o'clock, after there's been a few glasses of courage drank.
Yeah, I saw you today. You were fucking, who's that guy?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, there's another flip side, everybody, that we should mention, is those who are legitimately going through periods of extreme grief. A relationship has ended. A boyfriend or / husband, wife, or girlfriend has passed away. This is not a time when you're going to want to just dash out and grab at somebody. All your close friends, yes. And they will be there for you, the ones who truly care. Now, there's a movie, we were just discussing this before we went on the air, a movie I hadn't seen before. Aaron Eckhart and Jennifer Aniston in Love Happens. And if you've seen it, it's about a guy who, his wife was killed in a tragic car accident. He ended up writing a little how-to book about your A-OK, remember that?
Yes.
And anyway, Jennifer Aniston is in there, and it was really toward the end that I realized the Walter character, the guy who was so upset over losing his little boy, was me. And I realized that after losing my husband 11 weeks ago, that is me in that gilded cage, like that parrot was, and needed to be set free. The thing is, when you're in that cage of grief and despair, somebody on the outside doesn't have the key. You do. You've got the key. You've got to open that cage, and you've got to rejoin the human race. Otherwise, like Jennifer Aniston said, she said, otherwise this is going to be your life. And that movie, it was a tearjerker for me. But I think it's because it resonated so much.
It does really resonate, and there's so many different types of grief too, and a lot of people, grief's a part of life, so you definitely want to make sure that you process and handle everything before you try to take on a new experience.
And if you know a beautiful woman or a beautiful man who is suffering through grief, this is not somebody to just randomly hit on. Right. This isn't somebody to prey on their emotions.
Right.
I mean, that would be so cheap.
Not just cheap, but also you could ruin, like we're saying, losing them. You can ruin something that could potentially be a great relationship, but if you jump in there and you scare them away, then you're not going to have any chance.
So be a friend first.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Invite him or her out for a cup of coffee. Go to an art festival if he or she has mentioned, hey, I really like that. But these are things she used to do with a mate, or he did.
And what's interesting is, not to stop talking about that in particular, but we also get a lot of callers who say, well, I really like this guy that works with me, or I like this girl, and I don't know how to go out with them. You know, it's not that hard. We get really nervous. We don't want to do anything. But, you know, ask them to go do a thing. You don't have to be like, I am very romantically interested in you, and I would like to spend the rest of my life with you, so let's go get coffee. Just make it casual, right? Like, just say, hey, you know, make it something like, I was planning on going out to go try that taco bar later. Do you feel like coming with me? Make it a no-pressure situation. What is the worst thing that can happen?
And if nothing else, get a card reading and find out if there's potential.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You don't want to be knocking on a door that isn't going to, you know, get answered.
Right.
But also, if you never knock on the door, it's never going to answer. And you don't want to be like that guy that was licking the doorbell for 3 hours.
Right, exactly. Okay. You know, there's a lot of signals that the opposite sex will give each other to say, sorry, I'm really not interested. You know, unfortunately, men tend to be pretty loose.
What's the weirdest?
Sexually, so you can even, I think they can even have sex with someone they don't like.
Oh, yes. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, so Techie boy, do you have anything for us behind the camera?
We have, I think the name is Henny. I'm sorry, it's hard to see the radio. And she's talking about somebody in her life named Isaiah. And
okay.
She wants to know, why does Isaiah want space? He says he doesn't, but it seems like it, so I'm confused.
All right, I'm going to lay the cards down on that. And folks, still time to call and get your reading as we're giving them. We still have time, and Lauren's going to share that phone number again.
That phone number to call in live is 909-792-5222, and we are still taking calls. And things with space, I think that does. I'm hoping Deb's going to look at the cards, but sometimes I think people do want to rush things a lot, and so sometimes space and time.
So he's saying, whoa,
yeah,
slow this down.
But I think sometimes people are like, oh no, somebody wants space, or somebody's a little distant, it's over, and they get in a panic. But isn't it okay sometimes to have space?
Yeah, I think so. The trouble is, women are so swept away by the romantic intensity of, you know, dancing in the moonlight all night long and being just swept off our feet. I've told men that come to me for readings, watch as many chick flicks as you can. You're going to have a better understanding of women than reading a bunch of, like, say, she's from Mars and he's from Venus, or however, is that how it goes?
Women are from Mars, men are from Venus.
No, I think women are from Venus.
Let me look it up.
I don't remember.
I think it's men are from...
in the 90s.
Yeah.
But I don't understand because it's not accurate. Nobody's from those places.
Here's the problem with Isaiah. His problem is he's having a real struggle between being very intensely physically attracted to her and also worrying about a friendship going south. Okay, now you guys, do you have this kind of issue sometimes?
Yeah. Actually,
well, she threw a little astrology out there too. She said that he's a Scorpio and I'm just being a clingy Cancer.
Well,
or maybe she's asking if that's the problem, or I don't know.
Well, I think he'd really like to let himself go and get hot and heavy with her. Mm-hmm. That's probably his Scorpio-ness.
Yes.
Yes, plus also the cards have it right here. The card of like sexual intensity, and it's a card of magnetism, of spontaneous combustion, that kind of. But it's also a card of gratification, where I think women have to sometimes do the dance of anticipation, where you give a little, but not too much. You know, there's some really clever moves.
Take off one sock.
Yeah. Like a strip poker type thing.
I'm glad you got that reference.
Reveal a single toe. No.
Slip your hand up a short sleeve shirt and just graze your fingernails on.
That's a great move.
And then I would say, you could get all coy and say, I'm sorry, I didn't really mean to do that.
You responded while you were giving that, oh my God, yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
That is it. Now, what do you all think that are here in the audience? What can she do? Since he's backing off, because he doesn't, it's like he's fearing a step of taking a path of no return. Like in Harry Met Sally. After they slept together, what happened? The relationship went poof.
Yeah.
I would say the men always come back around at some point.
Right.
Just relax.
Yep.
You
Let
know,
him do his thing and kind of maybe say, okay, whatever.
because you might find either he'll come back to you, or during that time you need to process for yourself, do you really like this person? Is this somebody you really want a relationship? And you could end up having Ryan Gosling come by and sweep you off your feet.
You know, I would love to get Ryan Gosling to call you, because I think you would get away.
I would enjoy it. I have a lot to tell you. He is very attractive. He
That's like
has
saying Joe Blow to me. Right?
he made me like beards. I didn't even like a beard before, but let me tell you, he can wear a beard. That Ryan Gosling, you know, female audience member over there.
Well, for her, I really think that he's going to come around, because I am seeing a confirmed commitment here. And I think, though, she's got to let it come in its own time and let him be the one to decide that wanting her is greater than being afraid of her.
She should not be the clingy cancer.
Right. She needs to not do that. For one thing, if she stops doing that, he's going to start wondering,
right.
Hey, is some other guy sniffing around her?
Yep.
That's right.
And it's funny how men, and maybe this is all part of that whole primal dance of men want more what they can't, what's just slipping out of their grasp.
This is true.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If you're a sure thing, they lose interest.
Easily.
Or they get lazy.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't need to put effort into that because she ain't going anywhere.
But if you want to make them crazy, if clingy cancer stops being clingy and starts acting different, he's going to be brought up pretty short. Okay, we got Lauren. Before we get too short here, Lauren from California.
Hello, Lauren from California. This is Lauren from the East Coast in Virginia. How are you?
Hey, good. So Lauren, this is like Lauren that you know. Congratulations
Shut
on your
up,
wedding.
Lauren Vika. I love you. How are you doing?
Good.
Is that your friend?
Yes.
How are you, ladies?
We
Hi,
need to turn her
Deborah.
up.
Hold on, we gotta turn you up.
Okay.
How are you?
Good. I'm really good. The last time I talked to you ladies, you had amazing things to say, and I think that you definitely sent a lot of love my way. But yeah, I had to call in and just see what happens, because the love life area, you know, is an absolute zero right now. So, yeah.
Well, you know what they say when you go to Vegas, the more that you lose, the closer you come to winning. So that's what we want for you. You're going to be winning.
Lauren, you are like one of the most beautiful people I've ever met in real life. You're just going to be stunning.
That is so
She know your news.
sweet.
I think that Lauren does know. Do you know my news, Lauren?
Yes, you got married.
Don't tell anybody.
Nobody's listening.
Now we're going to lose all these male audience members that were enamored with me. But no.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I mean,
no, you're fine. I did.
It's more enticing now.
I got
Yes.
yes. Now they're gonna.
Now
be
you're
like,
a challenge.
Now I'm a challenge. But yes, that did happen.
I
Well,
was like, where's the NDA that I did not get about this? Okay. Okay,
No, you're fine. No, you're fine. It's
Men will
fine.
still work for
Okay,
you regardless.
I've got to do this really fast for you, Lauren, because they're going to turn off the lights and we're going to have to hit the door. So here's what I've got. You have someone from your past, a very, very loving man wanting to come back in your life, coming very soon to you. He is heartbroken and longing for you, longing.
Is he tan?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, this is very good. And I want you to know he's very sincere. He's coming with, they're not crocodile tears. These are genuine tears. There's, oh man, she's got a few. There's another one here. This one is more of a money maker, Leo-like type of man who ended things but wants to come back. There's something about you, Lauren. You have
They're
something.
all coming back.
But I really think the one for you has yet to walk into your life. But let's see how you feel when these ones from the past come along and you get to decide what your future's going to hold.
I'll come visit you. I'll be your wing lady.
All right.
Okay,
to
please.
Big ladies
Thank you
everywhere,
so much,
we have
ladies.
to say goodbye. We'll see you next week, Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Bye, everybody. Mwah.